Nowadays, space industry is an exciting frontier, but it's not as accessible as it might seem. For startups looking to break into this field, the challenges are discouraging. First, let's talk about the financial difficulty. Launching a rocket isn't like starting a tech company in your garage. We're talking about hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars just to get off the ground. Established players like SpaceX have already invested heavily in technology and infrastructure, creating a massive financial barrier for newcomers. Then, there are the strict regulations. The space industry is heavily monitored by government agencies like the FAA and NASA. Startups must navigate a complex web of rules that dictate everything from launch schedules to safety protocols. This regulatory environment can be a minefield, and for many new companies, it is a significant hurdle that can stall progress for years. Research and development is another critical area where startups face challenges. Developing new technology for space travel requires not just money but also expertise. SpaceX has a team of some of the brightest minds in engineering and aerospace. Competing with that level of talent is no small feat. New entrants need to invest heavily in R&D to innovate and create viable alternatives, which takes some time and resources that many simply don't have. Now, let's consider the technological advantages that established companies like SpaceX. They've pioneered reusable rocket technology, which has drastically reduced launch costs and increased the frequency of launches. This head start gives them a significant competitive edge. New entrants would need to develop their own innovative technologies to even begin to compete, and now that's no easy task. Moreover, SpaceX Starlink network has created a new revenue stream that many startups can only dream of. By providing global internet coverage, SpaceX has not only diversified its offerings but also secured substantial financial backing. This creates a cycle where established companies can fund further innovations while startups struggle to find their footing. The barriers to entry in the space industry are formidable. The combination of high financial requirements, strict regulations, and the need for advanced technology creates an environment where the threat of new competitors is relatively low. SpaceX's dominance is not just about their current technology, it's also about the ecosystem they've built around it. In conclusion, while the allure of the space industry is indubitable, the reality is that it's a tough arena for newcomers. The challenges are remarkable, and the barriers to entry are high. For now, it seems that entrenched players like SpaceX will continue to lead the charge into cosmos, leaving startups to navigate a complex landscape filled with complication.
When we talk about the bargaining power of buyers in the space launch market, it is fascinating to see how this dynamic plays out, especially with a company like SpaceX. The buyers in this arena are predominantly large government agencies, such as NASA and the US Department of Defense, along with a few major commercial satellite companies. These buyers will moderate to high power due to their substantial budgets and the critical nature of their missions. They can demand specific terms, including stringent safety standards and tight deadlines. However, it's not a one-sided affair. SpaceX has some strong negotiating power thanks to its cutting-edge technology and the cost efficiency of its reusable rockets. The Falcon 9, for instance, has revolutionized the industry by significantly lowering launch costs. This gives SpaceX a competitive edge, making it harder for buyers to push prices down too much, even as new players like Blue Origin and Arianespace enter the market. Now let's consider the number of buyers. The space launch market is quite limited. We are talking about a handful of major clients, primarily those big government agencies and a select few commercial satellite firms. This scarcity means that losing even one significant client could have a serious impact on SpaceX's bottom line. It's a delicate balance, while buyers have the leverage to negotiate their options are not endless. When it comes to detecting terms, the influence of buyers like NASA and the Department of Defense is undeniable. They can set rules regarding safety protocols, timelines, and the deliverables. Yet SpaceX's unique capabilities such as its reusable rocket and the ambitious Starship project provide it with a strong position in negotiations. This creates a more balanced relationship where buyers can influence certain terms but don't have complete control over the deal. In essence, the bargaining power of buyers in the space launch industry is a complex interplay of influence and capability. While buyers can push for better prices and terms, SpaceX innovative technology and strategy advantages ensure that they remain a formidable player in the market. The relationship is symbiotic. Both sides need each other, but the scales of power are constantly shifting, making it an intriguing space to watch.
When we talk about the bargaining power of suppliers in the aerospace industry, particularly for companies like SpaceX, it's a fascinating landscape. There aren't many suppliers out there that can provide the specialized parts needed for rockets and spacecraft. These components are incredibly complex and must meet strict quality standards. Because of this, only a handful of companies can supply them, which gives those suppliers significant leverage. Now, let's consider the implications of this limited supplier base. When there are only a few players in the game, they can control prices. These specialized suppliers offer unique high-tech parts that are not easily replaceable. As a result, they can charge higher prices, impose strict terms on contracts. These dynamics give them considerable power when negotiating with major companies like SpaceX. So, what does this mean for pricing? With such concentrated market, price tend to be higher. These suppliers are well aware that their parts are hard to substitute, allowing them to command a premium. However, SpaceX has a strategy to mitigate this challenge. By manufacturing many key components in-house like their rocket engines, they can control costs more effectively and reduce their dependency on external suppliers. But let's not overlook the reality of switching suppliers. For SpaceX, this process is neither easy nor cheap. Each new supplier's parts must undergo rigorous testing and approval processes, which can be time-consuming and costly. Given the high stakes involved, SpaceX often prefers to stick with trusted suppliers or produce parts themselves to avoid any potential delays in their ambitious projects. In essence, while suppliers do hold a significant amount of power due to their limited numbers and the specialized nature of their products, SpaceX has found ways to navigate this landscape. By investing in house production, they not only lower their overall costs but also reduce the risks associated with relying too heavy on external suppliers. This strategic approach allows them to maintain a competitive edge in an industry where every second and every dollar counts.
When we think about the space industry, one thing stands out. The threat of substitute product or service for SpaceX is remarkably low. Let's break them down. When it comes to launching rockets into space, there really aren't many alternatives. Sure, we have government-run space agencies and a handful for private launch companies, but none can match the unique blend of cost, reliability, and innovation that SpaceX brings to the table. Consider these traditional options like using planners or drones simply can't fulfill the need for actual space launches. They might be great for aerial photography or delivering packages, but when it comes to sending satellites, cargo, or astronauts into orbit, there's no substitute for a rocket. The complexity of launching something into space is immense. It's not just about getting off the ground, It's about precision, timing, and overcoming the challenges of the atmosphere and beyond. Now let's talk about the expertise involved. Building rockets, testing them, and launching them require a level of specialized knowledge that's hard to come by. SpaceX keeps most of this work in-house for a reason. It's not just about control, it's about ensuring that every aspect of the process is handled by skilled professionals who understand the intricacies of rocket science. Outsourcing these tasks will introduce risks that could compromise safety and reliability. Automation plays a role in SpaceX operation, and they do leverage advanced technology and robotics in manufacturing and testing to boost efficiency. But here's the catch. The core launch operations still demand the expertise of skilled engineers and meticulous oversight. While some components of the process can be automated, the overall mission requires human insight and decision making that machines simply can't replicate. Think about it. When a rocket is on the launch pad, it's not just a piece of machinery. It's a culmination of years of research, development, and testing. Every launch is a high-stake endeavor, and the margin of error is razor thin. That's why SpaceX approach is so crucial. They've mastered the art of keeping things in-house, ensuring that they maintain the highest standards of quality and safety. In the end, the landscape of space launches is unique. The barriers to entry are high, and the alternatives just don't stack up. SpaceX have carved out a niche that's difficult for others to penetrate. So, while the competition may exist, the risk from substitute service remains minimal. The future of space exploration is bright, and for now, SpaceX stands at the forefront, leading the charge into the cosmos with unmatched capability and vision.
Space industry is undergoing a remarkable transformation, but for new entrants, the challenges are daunting. Competing with a powerhouse like SpaceX is no small feat. First off, let's talk about the financial investment required. Launching a rocket isn't just a matter of throwing some cash at it. We are talking billions of dollars. SpaceX has raised over $7 billion to date. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. New companies need deep pockets and even deeper commitment to get off the ground. Then there's the talent pool. The space industry demands a level of expertise that's hard to come by. You need engineers who are not only skilled but also experienced in aerospace technology. The competition of these experts is fierce, and new companies often find themselves outbid by established firms. It's not just about hiring the right people, it's about building a team that can innovate and solve complex problems under pressure. Now, let's not forget about technology. The advancement SpaceX has made with reusable rockets have set a new standard in the industry. Reusability isn't just a cool feature, it fundamentally changes the economics of space travel. For a new company, developing a comparable technology is a monumental task. It requires time, research, and a lot of trial and error. And with the rapid pace of innovation, any delay can mean falling behind. Safety regulation and government approvals add another layer of complexity. The space industry is one of the most regulated sectors out there. New companies must navigate a labyrinth of safety protocols and compliance requirements before they can even think about launching. This can take years, and any mistake can lead to costly delays or even the loss of their license to operate. SpaceX has also carved out the competitive advantages with its Starlink network by providing global internet coverage. They are not just a launch service, they are a tech company with a revenue stream that supports their space adventures. New entrants need to find their niche, but replicating that kind of synergy is incredibly challenging. In summary, while the allure of space industry is undeniable, the barriers to entry are significant. Financial resources, talent acquisition, Its technological innovation and regulatory hurdles create a perfect storm that makes it tough for new companies to compete. SpaceX has set the bar high, and for aspiring space entrepreneurs, the road ahead is filled with obstacles. It's a trying time for the industry, but for those looking to break in, the journey is anything but easy.